Journalists, Muslims, European leaders, and other anti-Semites are warning that Donald Trump's declaration that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel will end the peace process in the Middle East. They also say it will cause the Titanic to sink and keep Pinocchio from becoming a real boy. Leaders of the PLO are saying that if Trump goes forward with the move, they will unleash a decades-long campaign of murder and terrorist warfare against the Jewish state, which threatens to interrupt the decades-long campaign of murder and terrorist warfare against the Jewish state that they're currently waging, sowing confusion and frustration among Palestinian terrorists throughout the region. And we wouldn't want that. Other Arab leaders are also disgruntled by the move and say it could cause their regimes to become oppressive and backward dictatorships where women have no rights and the general public is smothered under violent medieval religiosity while a small number of fat sheiks reap the benefits of millions in petrodollars, as opposed to the sunshiny utopias they are today. All in all, experts, journalists, and other knuckleheads agree a president who would declare Jerusalem the capital of Israel has lost touch with reality, which is that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. But you're not allowed to say so, or Muslims will kill you. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.
I feel hunky-dunky, life is tickety-boo. Birds are winging, also singing hunky-dunky-doo. Ship-shape, tipsy-topsy, the world is zippity-zing. It's a wonderful day, hurrah, hooray! It makes me want to sing. Oh, hurrah, hooray! Oh, hooray, hurrah!
All right, it's Mailbag Day. If we survive the fires that are raging here. You know, the funny thing is the fires look worse on the news today, but the smoke is better here. Yesterday, I mean, it's still a little misty in here. Yesterday, I was having a hard time breathing in here. It was really thick. Today, I can smell it at my house, but I don't smell it. It's not as bad in here. Mailbag Day, and the thing about the mailbag is, first, it comes after the break. So if you want to actually watch the mailbag, you have to come to thedailywire.com and subscribe for a lousy $10 a month. And if you subscribe, then you can ask questions in the mailbag about anything you want. The answers are guaranteed 100% correct. Where else do you get that for a lousy $10? The answers are guaranteed correct, and they will change your life on occasion for the better. And if I don't change your life, then you can talk to Ben Shapiro on The Conversation, which is coming up Tuesday, December 12th at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. If you subscribe today, you can be part of that conversation. Ask Ben live questions about everything from politics to religion to his favorite comic book characters. Ben's conversation will stream live on the Ben Shapiro Facebook page and the Daily Wire YouTube channel, and it'll be free. Everyone can watch it, but only subscribers can ask the questions. If you are a subscriber, you can ask questions by logging into our website, dailywire.com. Go over to the conversation page, watch the live stream, and after that, just start typing into the Daily Wire chat box where Ben will answer questions as they come in for an entire hour or until you just stump him and he storms off and off. Once again, subscribe to get your questions answered by Ben Shapiro on Tuesday, December 12th at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, and join the conversation. And stamps. You got to have stamps. You know, I don't know about you, but we are now having the Christmas thing is happening now. So everything is coming in. All the, we're ordering the presents come in. I will say it is so much nicer now to do Christmas shopping than it used to be when you had to actually go to the store. You don't have to go to the store anymore. You can do it on your computer. But then you think, but I have to go to the post office. But you don't have to do that either, because you can put the post office in your computer with Stamps.com. Stamps.com gives you every service that you could get at the U.S. Postal Service right at your fingertips. You can buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter, any package, any class of mail using your own computer and printer. Then the mailman picks it up. I like doing this, by the way. It's actually fun to have the stamps come out, and there they are. It's just it's such a time saver, and you have to drive through the flames. You don't burn up. You don't have to wait online. You don't have to wait for the post office to open. Stamps.com makes it easy. They'll send you a digital scale which automatically calculates exact postage, and Stamps.com will even help you decide the best class of mail every time, which saves you money. Right now, you can get a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Klavan, K-L-A-V-A-N. Type slowly, that's Stamps.com, and enter Klavan, and you can put the entire post office right into your computer. So there's an old expression that until I looked it up for this show, I always thought was an ancient Greek expression. It's usually, they usually ascribe it to Euripides, I think, one of the great Greek playwrights. In fact, one of the great American poets was the first person to put it in the way that I'm going to say it, which is, whom the gods would destroy, they first make mad. Whom the gods would destroy, they first make mad. And you see this is in the Bible too, when Saul, the king, is rejected by God. God doesn't just depose him, he makes him insane. And that's the first thing he does. And there's a lot of this in the Greeks, in the ancient Greeks. They do have things like evil appears as good to the minds of those who the gods lead to destruction. In other words, God doesn't have to hit you with a lightning bolt. He just takes your own mind and turns it against you. And I would never compare Donald Trump to the Greek gods, but I have to say I have never in my life seen a man who causes his enemies almost by magic to destroy themselves. I mean, he doesn't do anything to them. They do it to themselves. I mean, it is just amazing. It's like everything, it's almost like this kind of magical, it's got to be instinctive, right? I don't think he sits on like Mount Oval Office, with this thunderclouds over him, plotting this out and figuring out how to do it. And as I keep saying, I don't think he's playing three-dimensional chess. I just think he has an instinct for driving people out of their minds. This is one of the best, it's the best 2 weeks, I think, of his presidency, with the tax thing, and now this idea of declaring honestly that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, which is just the simple truth. But it's just, we saw this during the actual primaries. We saw 16 candidates, and remember how he wiped them out. People keep saying, oh, it was the bullying and it was the name calling and all that, but it wasn't true. It was the way they imploded. I remember Marco Rubio making those kind of ugly remarks about Trump's hands, and you think, well, Trump can do it, why can't Rubio? Because it doesn't fit Rubio. It wasn't his personality. We expected to act like a normal politician. But he just lost it. He got so tired. Yeah, see, I myself. Yeah, that's right. That was my tribute to Marco Rubio's drinking the water. I was just, but it was just they would get so mad and so angry, and everything bounced off him. Nothing stuck to him. It would drive him crazy. Ted Cruz did the same thing. Remember when Ted Cruz went to the convention? First of all, Ted Cruz thought he was going to outsmart. Ted Cruz's thing was his brain. He's brainy, and he was the candidate I want. I'd still love to see Ted Cruz become president. I'm not sure that'll ever happen. I think he's, a really good guy policy-wise. But he just thought he was going to outsmart and outplay Trump by going along with him, calling him my good friend Donald and sticking with him and all this stuff. And by the time he turned on him, it was just too late. And then he went to that convention, and he made that speech about follow your conscience. And I came on the show, and I said that was a mistake. It was a moral error, and it was a political error. And people yelled at me for 3 weeks. I got letters for 3 weeks about what a fool I was. Cruz was doing the right thing, but he didn't. He blew himself up, and now he's playing the game. He's playing along with Trump because he sees that he can get policy stuff done, which is what he's about, and good for him. And I appreciate that. And Hillary Clinton. That line about deplorables, that's not what sunk her ultimately, but it certainly stuck. And that it was that anger that he makes people do things that they don't want to do. I'm watching some of these Republicans who are opposing them. And there's this imaginary world of the mainstream media where they're all heroes and they're right, but they're really running for their lives. Bob Corker and Jeff Flake, they're kind of saying, we're going to fight them. Goodbye. It's like, all right, we're going to stand and fight. I'm gone. You see this kind of trail of smoke. Yesterday, just talk about trolling someone. Trump was having a lunch, and he had Jeff Flake, who hates him, right, sitting right next to him. And Flake wrote a check to Doug Jones in Alabama. Do we have a picture of the Here it is. $100 check to the Democrat candidate in Alabama with this virtue signaling subject line at the bottom. It says country over party. Country over party, which I'm sorry, it's one thing to say, I can't vote for Roy Moore, he's just a bad guy. If you're not from Alabama, you can do what I do, which is thank God Almighty I don't have to make that choice, that I'm not morally involved in this choice. But to actually contribute to the other party is just crazy. Bill Kristol has been tweeting things like, suddenly my inner feminist and my inner socialist is awake. You think like, Yeah, Bill, could you just move to the back of the room, take your inner feminist and your inner socialist with you? I mean, all these people are just blowing themselves up. So yesterday, Trump has a lunch, and he sits Flake next to him and tells people that the Republican Party is more unified than ever. And if you're watching, you can just watch Flake's face as if he just bit on a lemon. Look at this.
There's a great spirit in the Republican Party like I've never seen before, like a lot of people have said they've never seen before. They've never seen anything like this, the unity. So I think a lot of very good things are going to happen. It's going to happen very fast. I want to thank you all for being here, and let's have a great lunch, and let's talk about trade, and let's make great trade deals instead of the horrible trade deals that we all got stuck with.
In fact, if you look at it, you just see Flake. He just looks like, why am I sitting here? Why, it reminded me of that picture of Ted Cruz when he had to make phone calls for Trump, and he just looked like he had been condemned to hell. Remember Chris Christie, when he joined Trump, he would stand in the back of Trump just looking like, I am died and I've gone to hell now. I mean, he really has a power that is, it's quite amazing to look at. It's just an amazing thing to see. And I've started to ask myself, what is it? What drives people crazy? Because there's one person, I'll get to this in a little while, there's one person who hasn't quite been driven crazy by him, who seems immune. Some of the people, Mitch McConnell is one of them. Mitch McConnell figured out, stop fighting with him, do your job. That's why the tax thing got passed. He just said, you know what? He had to. He had to have gone to all those people who hate Trump and say, look, are we the senators? Are we going to do Senate stuff or not? Are we going to sit around banging our head against this guy? And they fell in line. That was a smart thing to do. That is an old hand, old professional thing to do. But even this thing with Roy Moore, think about this for a minute. With Roy Moore, Trump now has supported him, given him a kind of a bland, endorsement, saying, I need his vote. I need his vote. And the RNC has shown up, and all the anti-Trumpers, especially on the right, they're clutching their pearls and saying this is the end of our moral nation, blah, 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 blah. But meanwhile, because the left, the Democrats, up till now, have been the party of it's okay to molest people sexually, because they've been the party of Bill Clinton, right? Now, in order to get at Trump, in order to have some kind of moral position from which to attack Trump, they have to clean house. It's like Trump has this ability to turn people on themselves. So John Conyers just said he's resigning. That doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, do we have a cut of him? Do we have a cut? Yeah, let's play Conyers resigning like he's a king. He's going to appoint his son to replace him.
Do you think that these allegations at all will impact that legacy?
Oh, absolutely not. My legacy can't be compromised or diminished in any way by what we're going through now. This too shall pass. And I want you to know that my legacy will continue through my children. I have a great family here, and especially in my oldest boy, John Conyers III, who incidentally I endorse to replace me in my seat in Congress.
But this doesn't give them any, as far as I'm concerned, any moral credit. The guy's 80 years old, 80 plus years old. He's appointing his son to replace him in Michigan, where we have the wonderful Democrat achievement of Detroit, of taking a vibrant living city and sucking every ounce of life and business out of it. That's like, thank you, Democrats. So this doesn't give them any cred. And now they've got all these other, so Chris Matthews, for instance, is trying to play this Roy Moore thing. He's trying to roll this up. This is a talking point, because I've heard a couple of other people say this. He makes this little joke on hardball.
Ask Republicans today, would you want to be one of them, one of the grand old pedophiles, the GOP? Do you want to be part of that? Yeah. You want to be part of that? Because every cheap shot Democrat in the country, and there are a few of them out there, will use it in every campaign. You're a number to you're one of the Crips and the Bloods, basically. You're one of them. But,
we all remember what it was like when Ted Kennedy died. Ted Kennedy, a guy who left a woman to drown, and Andrea Mitchell on CNN was like, I think she was on CNN then. I can't remember. Andrea Mitchell was like it was raining. The heavens are weeping for Ted Kennedy, And one guy in the Boston Globe magazine wrote, if Mary Jo Kopechne, the woman he left to die in her car while he arranged his alibi, if Mary Jo Kopechne were alive today, she would support Ted Kennedy. It's like, I thought, yeah, if Mary Jo Kopechne were alive today, she'd have a reason to support Ted Kennedy, but she doesn't because she's dead because he left her there. So now they've got Al Franken on their hands, right? So 6 female Democratic senators have called on Al Franken to resign now. I simply do not know how he survives that. Tomorrow he says he's going to make an announcement. Maybe he's going to try and tough it out. But when you've got the senators coming forward, and look, I don't want to impugn their motives. Maybe they just think enough is enough because now there was a 7th woman who says he tried to forcibly kiss her and all this stuff. But I don't want to impugn their motives, but they have to do this. They have to do this or they have simply no moral standing. So Trump, the very fact that, remember all the women with the pink hats, protesting that Donald Trump said this stuff on the Hollywood Access tape, all the kind of grotesque things he said about what women will let you do if you're a celebrity, which we now know are true since these women didn't come forward for 10 years, but still it did indicate there were plenty of complaints against Trump that he did untoward things just like Al Franken. But instead of it destroying him, it's destroying all the people around him because in order to get at him, they have to throw these people overboard. So it's like instead of, I don't know what's going to happen with Roy Moore. I said from the beginning, the best outcome for me would be if he got elected and then thrown out of the Senate. But this could end with the Democrats losing a vote in the Senate, which would just be, it's insane the way this happens. It's almost magical. Then there's the FBI. And things are just getting absolutely worse with the FBI. There's now, what is Judicial Watch? These are the guys who keep filing FOIA claims to get the documents, pry the documents out of the Justice Department and the FBI that they don't want to give. So now they say that that one of the senior prosecutors assigned to special counsel Robert Mueller is biased against President Trump. If you remember back at the very beginning when Trump put out that travel ban, which now the Supreme Court says he can put forward until they hear the case. The travel ban has gone forward, and it's not a Muslim ban. It includes non-Muslim countries, and it doesn't include some Muslim countries. But remember, the then acting Attorney General Sally Yates said she ordered her staff not to defend the ban. So the Justice Department was saying we're not going to support the President of the United States executive order, which was insane. And Andrew Weissman, one of Mueller's deputies, sent her an email apparently saying, I'm so proud and in awe. Thank you so much. All my deepest respects. So it's like, the FBI, even the FBI goes after him and they explode. Here is Newt Gingrich just noticing the phenomenon.
I don't think I fully appreciated until this evening how really important it was for Donald Trump to win. If Hillary Clinton had won, none of this would have surfaced. They just would have kept covering up all the corruption, and they would have just kept taking care of themselves. So the very fact that you had this disruptive figure in the White House, all of us are learning some pretty horrifying things about how sick the system is, how sick the entire process is, in ways I would have thought were impossible. I have the greatest respect for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and it is astonishing to me that you could have people at the top who are this corrupt, this profoundly dishonest.
So here's this guy who is supposed to be Trump, who's supposed to be the authoritarian, he's supposed to be corrupt, he's under investigation for this Russia thing, which is a nonsense, if you ask me. And yet, who is getting burned? And if you watch the mainstream media, they're not covering it, so they don't see it, but it's still happening. It's happening whether they see it or not. And we'll discuss in a couple of minutes why Trump has this weird power, this bizarre power, because it's not strategic, it is instinctive, but it also has to do with the system itself. But first, we have to talk about shaving. And when you're talking to me, you are talking about a guy who knows shaving. If there's one thing I know, I have so much real estate to shave every morning that it is really like mowing the lawn because I got the head, I got the face, I got the back of the neck, I got everything to shave. And even before they became sponsors, I belonged to the Dollar Shave Club. I heard about it on the radio. I thought I will try this out, and it has been terrific. I have moved up. I originally started, what they do is you subscribe essentially, and they send you every month, they send you a new pack of blades so that you don't have to go to the store, you don't have to fiddle with the thing that now has an alarm on it. So if you go in and reach for a blade in the drugstore, you get thrown out by security. You don't have to pay a fortune for a blade that you then discard. You get a fresh blade. I change my blade every week, which I have to. And I started out with the kind of, they call it the humble twin, I think, the humble twin. And now I've moved up to their executive one because it just gives such a great shave. It has so many blades in it. I keep saying that it's still shaving me half an hour after I'm done. So you can do this for yourself. Give it to somebody who needs it. DollarShaveClub.com with a gift membership and e-gift cards available. DollarShaveClub.com can help cover the names on your holiday shopping list. So I want you to try this out. And I know you're going to like it because I mean, like I said, I shave more than you shave. I shave better than you shave, and I shave with DollarShaveClub.com. So I've arranged for you to try your first month of their best razor, which is the one I use, and I just love it, along with travel-size versions of their shave butter, body cleanser, and yes, even their wipes. They have wipes. I have not tried those, but I have tried the shave butter, which is great. And it's all going to be for just $5. And after that, replacement cartridges ship for just a few extra bucks a month. It's the DSC Starter Club, the Dollar Shave Club Starter Set. So you get yours for just $5 exclusively at DollarShaveClub.com/Klavan. That's DollarShaveClub.com/Klavan. Your entire body could look like my head if you DollarShaveClub.com. All right, we got a break from Facebook and YouTube. We've got the mailbag coming up. All your problems solved, all your questions answered. Answers guaranteed 100% correct and will change your life on occasion for the better. But you got to subscribe to be in the mailbag. So come on over to thedailywire.com, listen to the rest of the show, and while you're there, subscribe for a lousy $10 a month or $100 for a year, for which you get the magical Leftist Tears tumbler, which has remained utterly full these past 2 weeks. No matter how much I drink out of it, it just stays full because there's so many Leftist Tears. Come on over to thedailywire.com.